Hello, hope you're well. I'm just adjusting, yeah, that's better. Hi, hope you're well. I thought I'd do a video from my sofa today because it's just a lot more relaxing and chilled, and because well, not because for any reason actually, it's just that's what I want to do. I wanted to talk to you today about something that I know a lot of people struggle with, and it's something that if I'm honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that it took me such a long time to learn, but I didn't know what a boundary was until this year. I really didn't know what that meant for me personally. I'm not sure if I knew what it meant anyway. I think I knew how to respect them for others, but I wasn't sure what it meant for me. And that is quite embarrassing to admit. You know, I'm an adult, and I mean, as a child, I didn't really learn what boundaries were. I knew what, you know, living in a dominating environment would be like, and what it would be like to be fearful and things like that. But I didn't know what boundaries meant for me in terms of relationships and how things worked with other people. So I never set them. I just thought that, you know, I was supposed to accept anything and everything, and unfortunately that's something that I did for a long time. And the thing is about boundaries is that we usually don't implement them because we want approval, we want people to like us, we don't want people to run away, because the thing about boundaries is once you set them, people that don't respect them will either try and fight those boundaries, or they'll just go away. And honestly, the funniest thing about that is I would have saved myself so much time if I'd been okay with just letting people go away, but I wasn't. I wanted to keep people around. I didn't want them to leave. I set my value on how much I could go through, how much I could endure, no matter what, how long I could keep somebody around, even if they weren't good for me. And it really set a bar of a lack of respect for that people had for me. And I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about family, I'm talking about mostly relationships and friendships, to be fair. But a lot of people, and the other thing is, when people speak about me, I've noticed this, which is not a bad thing at all. I'm really glad that, you know, people will say, "You're so nice." And I am so nice, and I do think there are things that come with being so nice. You know, it's just who I am. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to turn into some not so nice person just because of it. But because people think that, they automatically think that they can push boundaries with me, that I'll accept anything. Oh, you know, she ain't gonna mind, she's so nice, you know, I can treat her like that, she's so nice. Or from the nurturing point of view, I tend to get people that think I can save them, and because I'm so nice or because of the work that I do, that people seem to think that. And you know, to be fair to them, some of that is my fault, because I would go out of my way a lot for people without boundaries, and then they thought that I would just put up with anything and everything, and that lack of respect really was a detriment to me, because you know, I wasn't able to stick up for myself, speak up for myself, say no, that's not okay. I could, but if I did, they'd be gone. I could, but if I did, they'd be like, "Who does she think she is? She's so nice. You know, everybody thinks she's so nice. She's clearly not as nice as I thought she was, because she would let me walk all over her if she was so nice." You know, I've had that before. I've had people, when I've set boundaries, you know, especially in like my area of work, if I set a boundary with someone and said, "Look, this isn't working anymore," or "You've done this," "Oh, well, she's supposed to support people with mental health problems and children and young people, but she's said this to me." And I'm like, running a business that has a social cause has no makes no difference to me setting a boundary that means that you should respect me more. So I find that really odd comparison whenever I've heard that. It's not been very often, it's been like 1 or 2 people, but it's made me laugh every time, because if I worked in a bank, would that make it better? You know, we should all set boundaries, and we should all be able to we should all have them respected. And if you know, if you don't want to respect someone's boundary, get the hell out of their life. Like, it's not complicated. But I have to say, this is something that it took me a long time to learn, because I thought I could just endure everything. I thought that you know, I sort of had it in my head that I was just you know, able to just fight through everything. I don't mean physically, of course, I mean just like mentally, like, we can get through this, you know, I'm strong. Or, you know, I always wanted to save people for that approval thing, and I think I always wanted to prove to myself that I could get it right if I save somebody. And it's been a massive learning curve, especially in realizing that I cannot save people. Like, my job is to help people and support people, but I can't save anybody. And I think in a situation that happened like a few months ago, I realized that I put a lot of my self-worth into saving people, and realizing that I couldn't once save a certain someone, that I really took it to heart. I really thought, wow, I can't do this. I'm not as great as, you know, not as great, but you know, I can't do this for this person. You know, what is it about me? Like, I really took it personally, and that really led me to look at myself and realize that it's not my job to save anybody. It's not my job to do this, and I should not be putting my self-worth. A fly just flew past me, I don't know if you saw that. I shouldn't be putting my self-worth into how many people I can save. And, you know, to be fair to other people, if they put a boundary in as well, I need to respect that too, you know. You know, someone's saying, I don't want to talk today, doesn't mean that they want to talk today. It means they don't want to talk today. Like, to respect people. Like, I do find that, again, that thing about being nice, even if you put a boundary and people think you're so nice, that they can overcome it, they can push your boundaries, because, you know, you're just that nice person that, that nice person that just laughs all the time, that laughs everything off, and you know, just kind of okays everything. And I've had to really implement that that's not the case anymore. And I've already noticed that that's created change in a lot of the relationships that I've had and I've got. It's interesting actually, because I did put a boundary in with a friend last year, and I know that hit them hard because of how they reacted, and I always felt like I had a real lack of respect from this person. The boundary that I set there was just that I wasn't going to be a doormat anymore, and that you could just treat me anyway, and I'd be like, oh, no, come back. You know, I loved this person. However, I think that the lack of boundaries made me come across like a damn fool. Lack of boundaries made me come across like a walkover, a doormat. And I know that this person looks at me very differently now. Like, they probably won't have a lot of good to say about me because of it, but it's really okay, because I will say this: if everybody likes you, you have kept your mouth shut on a lot of things. Because I remember when everybody liked me and it was my job to stay liked, and my throat chakra was just clogged, absolutely clogged, because I was not speaking up. I was saying everything was okay when it wasn't. I was letting people do things, say things. I was having it all. And the minute that I started to put in small boundaries, not realizing that they were boundaries, a lot changed. But if I'm honest, it's not something that's I've really hit the nail on the head with till this year. I've realized that I let a lot things slide. And you know that little voice in your head, like that gut feeling that you get. I used to ignore that like massively. Now I really try my best to confront things. And when I say confront things, I don't mean in a confrontational way, but I will speak up about things. I will really try my best to be like, okay, this is an issue, this is a problem, I'm not feeling comfortable about this, but I will also address myself, because if something's triggering me and not making me feel good, then I want to address that within myself and find out where that might be coming from, because it might be me. But if it's a thing where someone is clearly pushing my boundaries and showing me no respect, then I have to address it some way with that person, whether that means I create distance or it means I speak to them. Something has to be done for that respect to be put into place. And so for any of you that don't know, didn't know what a boundary was before, don't know what a boundary is, this is what a boundary is. It's about putting something in place, saying no, letting people know the things that you will and will not accept. And also you have to be okay with that person saying, all right then, I'm gone. You have to remember that your self-worth is not set in that person, and if they go, they go, because that's what it's about. You're supposed to clear out your life of the people that don't respect you, the people that don't respect your boundaries. That way that you can live your best, you can live with peace in your heart, peace and contentment. Because the thing about clinging on to people when they don't respect our boundaries, that's showing a lack of respect to ourselves. Like, this person doesn't respect you, but you want them anyway. Like, where's your self-respect? And when I say this, I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying it to myself. So it's something that I've really had to learn the hard way. And sometimes I think, oh my God, like I look at past situations and think, oh my God, like how did you let that slide? How are you okay with that? Like, knowing what I know now, I just think, oh my God, if I could, I mean, I'm not one to wish I could go back to things, but if I could go back to things, my God, things would be so different. I mean, I guess my life wouldn't be the way it is now, so I guess I have to take everything that's happened in, as it comes and be okay with it. But some things I just think, my God, you should, what if you knew now? But the best thing about that is that things will be different moving forward, and that's why it's so important to learn about boundaries. Find out what your own personal boundaries are, that gut feeling, that alarm bell that rings in your head. It's really important for you to honor that and to look into that and to not ignore it. Also, don't beat yourself up for it, because it's a learning thing. I'm saying I wish I knew, and I'm saying all this stuff, but I'm still being kind to myself. It's more that I laugh and think, oh my God, I can't believe you put up with that. But I don't beat myself up for it. I just make sure that I'm making better decisions now. Like, if I make a conscious decision, if someone is disrespecting my boundaries and I act like I'm okay with it, then I am disrespecting myself. I'm making a conscious decision to make a bad decision. Whereas these days, if I hear something, feel something, see something, I have more confidence in myself and more self-respect to be okay with speaking up about it. And if the person leaves, doesn't like it, I have to be okay with that, because I have to be at peace with myself. And I just wanted to share this because sometimes I speak with people in my inbox on Instagram, and there are a lot of people out there that don't know what boundaries are, and a lot of it's to do with how we grew up and how we've seen relationships happen in front of us. Some of our parents just showed us that they accepted a lot of stuff, and so we recreate cycles for ourselves. And some of our friends might do the same things, and so we might learn that from them. But it's really important to teach yourself and to listen to that little voice, those alarm bells, those red flags, and put in some boundaries. I really hope this has been helpful. and I hope that we all can grow together and feel confident in the boundaries that we set for people, set for ourselves going forward. And yeah, we're all in this together, guys. I'll see you soon in my next video. Take care, see you soon, bye.